FYF Sportsman. It's Lamont here. We back with another sports podcast video today. Man, we got a lot to talk about. NBA free agents today, man. We definitely got to do these predictions on where we forecast them to go. Who's unrestricted, who has player options, and things of that nature. We're going to break all of that down. Before we get started, make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell to the video if you have not done so already. All right. We appreciate everybody, who hits that notification bell. We've started our live debates. So again, make sure that you hit the notification bell. So when we go live, you guys get that notification. You can jump in those live debates. Again, we've had some great debates. I think we went live 4 times so far. And I'm telling you guys, this has been some of the best conversations, man. It's all basketball. Has not been any hostility. We laugh, we joke, we go at each other on the basketball stage, and when it's all said and done, we shake each other's hands and we walk away. Again, it's been some really good debates, so I appreciate everybody. I do appreciate you guys for showing up to the live debates. Today we just have the live debate. They got up to 1,900 viewers. That's great. Again, I want to see more of you guys hit that like button. I need more of you guys. When you come in, make sure you hit that like button. It doesn't cost nothing. Hit that like button. Again, it's just a very little action that we're asking you to do. Please do us that favor. It doesn't cost you anything, but it helps us get these videos out there across the masses, and it's just going to help the channel grow. So again, we appreciate all the support, man. Guys like Jacob Jennings and Ticket TV, all of these guys have been big supporters of the channel, man. So again, big appreciation to those guys for stopping by the live debates, supporting, donating to the channel, and also hitting that like button. But again, today we're going to be talking about the top free agents going into the 2020-21 season. And I want you guys to understand, going into this particular season is not necessarily going to be about the actual players. Everybody is going to have an eye on the salary cap. The salary cap could take a major dip going into next season, and if it does, it's really going to affect certain players like Fred VanVleet, maybe Montrezl Harrell. It's going to affect their flexibility with regards to maybe signing with other teams, or will they just settle and stay home with the current team that they have so they can capitalize and get the maximum money that they can. So again, this is going to be one of the more unique free agencies that we've seen in a long time, because again, with the shutdown, with a lot of the revenue that's been lost, a lot of things are going to be changing for the NBA. Viewership is down for a number of reasons. They're going to have to start the season up in January. We got to figure out if we're going to have fans in stadiums. Where are we going to recover this lost revenue? There are going to be so many things that play an integral role in even some of the top players getting signed. And so, if you're lucky enough this year, going into this year, if you have that player option, you're going to see a lot of players with the player option. They're not going to take the chance on the market. They're going to take those player options, take the guaranteed money that's on the table, and then hope that the salary cap recovers going into, let's say, the 21-22 season. So there are a lot of things to look out for, but this year, more importantly than others, is definitely going to be about the salary cap for these guys. So again, we're just going to transition. We're going to transition over to our screen. Again, we've selected 15 players who we feel are probably the top free agents in the market. Yeah, we're just going to break these guys down because again, we really need to get a good understanding of how these guys are going to move during free agency. And again, as we start this off, and we're just going to go ahead and start it off with Marc Gasol. We have a guy like Marc Gasol. He's older. He's headed into the twilight years of his career. He's an unrestricted free agent, and we can see this guy. I see him signing with another contending team, maybe for the veterans minimum. I did not see this guy signing a long-term contract, maybe a 1 or 2 year deal with the contending team. Or I could see him staying with the Toronto Raptors. But look out for teams like San Antonio, Golden State Warriors, maybe even the Philadelphia 76ers trying to shore up that bench. Teams like the LA Clippers, they could potentially sign this guy. But my choice is the Miami Heat. I really think the Miami Heat are going to go off after this guy to shore up that back line. We see the Heat struggling in this year's playoffs, big time, guarding the paint. Next up, we got Goran Dragic. He's an unrestricted free agent. He's an unrestricted free agent with the Miami Heat. He's having a great season. He's even had an even better playoff run. So a lot of teams are going to be looking for this guy to be that veteran point guard to lead that team. And it's funny because this guy actually played for the Phoenix Suns. The Phoenix Suns could potentially look to bring this guy back to help out at the point guard position, especially with Rubio having so many injury concerns. We see teams like the Golden State Warriors who would love to have that guy as well. Next up, we got Andre Drummond. Now, Andre Drummond is one of those guys who's lucky enough to have a player option. He has a $25 million player option heading into next season. He's going to take that player option. I don't see a guy like this testing the market, especially because he plays like one of a more traditional big from the 90s. And that style of play is starting to get phased out. It's not as effective in today's game. So again, just, for this, business wise, it just would not be a smart move for him to opt out and test the market at this time. I feel like he's going to opt in, and more than likely Cleveland will try to move him before the trade deadline. But again, even manipulating that trade is going to be all about making the money work with whatever trade scenario you come up with and whatever team he's going to. There has to be an absolute need for a big at the center position. And if there is no need, I don't see him going there. Next up, we got the Morris twin for the Clippers. This guy's an unrestricted free agent. The Clippers are going to do absolutely everything possible. They are going to do absolutely everything possible to keep this guy because of their salary cap strong. They don't have any draft picks, and if they lose this guy, there's really not going to be a way to replace him with equal value in the open market because of the Paul George trade that they made. He's an unrestricted free agent. There's a lot of teams that could use a guy like this at a 3-and-D position. Next up, we got Serge Ibaka. Again, he's going to be highly sought after as well. Serge Ibaka is also an unrestricted free agent. I definitely see this guy re-signing with the Toronto Raptors. But again, if he can get better offers, if the money's right, I can see him landing with a veteran contending team out there. Now, again, their Dallas Mavericks have been rumored to be interested in Serge Ibaka. We've also heard inklings of about him going to the Miami Heat and the Golden State Warriors. All of these teams are in the market for veteran bigs. So veteran bigs who are signing short-term deals, that's going to be a hot commodity on the market this summer. And I'm really curious to see where Serge Ibaka actually lands. If I had to guess, I would say the Miami Heat. We have Montrezl Harrell now. A bit disgruntled that the Clippers did not end this playoff run exactly the way that they wanted to. Montrezl Harrell was one of those voices in that locker room that was disgruntled with guys like Paul George and Doc Rivers and how they performed against the Denver Nuggets as they blew a 3-1 series lead. But this guy Montrezl Harrell is due for a big payday. This salary cap restriction could definitely limit how much money he makes. I think even though he probably doesn't want to stay with the LA Clippers, I honestly feel that this guy is going to re-sign with the Clippers, but if he doesn't, I can see him landing with the Charlotte Hornets. They definitely need a big body like this, energetic. A lot of the bigs that the Hornets have drafted in the past, they just not panning out to what we thought they would. They have guys like Zeller down there, or Harrison. Those guys aren't cutting it. We have Evan Fournier. This guy's a very, very, quietly known shooting guard out of Orlando who's actually highly skilled, and he's a great shooter and defender. A player like this can be used on almost any team, whether coming off the bench as a sixth man or if you need him to shore up your starting lineup. The Atlanta Hawks, you guys be on the lookout for the Atlanta Hawks. They're looking for a veteran to guard. The Atlanta Hawks struggled mightily at the shooting guard position last year when a lot of those rookies that they drafted just were not able to fill that void. They need somebody alongside Trae Young who can take that pressure off of him so he doesn't have to do it all. Next up, we got Joe Harris. Joe Harris, his ability to shoot the ball and defend, he's going to be highly sought after as well as an unrestricted free agent. man, this guy, I know the Brooklyn Nets don't want to lose this guy, but unfortunately, there are going to be so many teams competing for a player of this caliber who can come off the bench and do everything. We don't know where he might land. We have Bogdanovich from Sacramento. You're talking about elite shooter. This guy's a restricted free agent, so I definitely see Sacramento matching any offer. I see Sacramento matching any offer that's thrown at him because he took Buddy Hield's spot in the starting lineup. This looks to be the shooting guard of the future for this team. They love him, and more than likely, they're probably going to be in it. They're going to probably let Buddy Hield walk away and keep this guy and develop him. But again, if a team throws an all crazy offer out there, we could see him leave if they can't match. We got Danilo Gallinari, one of those veteran guys who can make shots and do everything that you need on the defensive end. He's a really smart player. He was great for the OKC Thunder. He's another guy that's going to be sought after. Now, what we saw Miami was interested, but I can see the Knicks being interested in a player like this, especially if they bring in the right talent. We don't know all of the free agency moves that they have in place. We got Gordon Hayward. He's an unrestricted free agent, or he actually has a player option. He's another one of those guys who could opt into free agency, but with his health, he hasn't played up to his ability. I don't see this guy opting out of his contract. He's going to opt in. He's going to collect, I think, close to $30 million if he opts in. I don't see Gordon Hayward opting out of his contract to go into the open market. Next up, we got Fred VanVleet. Fred VanVleet, we know this guy is a supremely talented player, and he's definitely going to get affected by the salary cap. Going into free agency, a lot of teams look to get him. And again, another team that we hear with him is the New York Knicks. Teams they love these hard-nosed guards who can get the job done. They're low maintenance. They just know how to go in, put in work, and then go home. And those are the type of value guards that you need. He can bring a lot to a team with everything that he can do with the ball. Now, I don't know if the Raptors can hold on to him. I see the Raptors possibly doing the sign and trade so that at least they get some value in return for him. And it will also give him the capability of maximizing whatever contract that he can sign. I just don't see him staying with the Raptors long term because this guy's looking to get paid. This is his first big payday, and I see him capitalizing on it. We got DeMar DeRozan. DeMar DeRozan, man, just another guy, man, who a lot of people just aren't very interested in DeMar DeRozan right now. And why? Because he's a mid-range player. Teams are looking for that 3-and-D guy. They want that 3-and-D guy. We've seen this guy struggle in San Antonio over the last couple of years trying to adapt to Popovich's offense. And he struggled. His inconsistent performances. But my prediction is that he goes to Orlando Magic, potentially to fill that hole left by Jonathan Isaac, who is out for next season with the torn ACL. So I see a need for him out there. The Orlando Magic desperately need a small forward to come in and give that instant impact. We got Brandon Ingram, who's a restricted free agent. We all know that New Orleans Pelicans are going to offer him the most money that they possibly can, allowed by the salary cap. He's probably not going anywhere. Any deal that a team throws at him, the New Orleans Pelicans will be matching. This guy turned into an all-star this season, leading the Pelicans in scoring. Anthony Davis, again, it's a similar situation. The Lakers are poised, and they look to be poised to win a championship this year. Anthony Davis' first championship. He looks extremely happy and satisfied with playing with LeBron James and the Los Angeles Lakers. He's another one of those guys where I don't see him going into free agency to switch teams, especially after coming off a championship run with the Lakers. He will be re-ing up and re-signing with the Lakers, in my opinion. But again, these are my top 15 players or top 15 free agents that I feel are currently in the NBA. Now, there are a lot of guys that we didn't mention here on this list. There are a lot of guys. We got guys like Paul Millsap. He's one of those bigs. Paul Millsap's going to be an unrestricted free agent with bird rights. We got to look at that. And then my mistake earlier, DeMar DeRozan he can opt out. So DeMar DeRozan has an opt-out, but he's one of those few players who can opt out and still possibly get decent money if he opts out because of some of the holes left by injuries. So I wanted to correct that before I went further. But there are a lot of guys. Hassan Whiteside, unrestricted free agent for the Portland Trailblazers. Now, we know he lost his starting job when Yusuf Nurkic came back. That could play a big role with Hassan Whiteside. That could play a major role. Maybe he wants to get back into the starting lineup. And with him being an unrestricted free agent, he may go seek another spot on another team where he can get that starting role back, where they appreciate him a little bit more. But Yusuf Nurkic immediately came in and took that starting role back. A lot of us were surprised to see that. Derek Favors, he's a guy that New Orleans Pelicans really need to hold on to. I like Jeff Teague just as a backup guard coming off the bench for a veteran-laden team. He can help a team with the right deal. I can see him going to a veteran contending team. The LA Clippers are a team that could have desperately used a guard like Jeff Teague just to calm them down, execute, and run the offense. He probably is a little bit better than Reggie Jackson at that. Tim Hardaway Jr., the Dallas Mavericks, again, he's one of those players he can't afford to opt out. That's just too much money to pass up on. He's not going to be highly sought after in the open market. He'll have to just simply use his player option, collect that money, and hopefully go into free agency another year. Lesser known guys like Evan Turner, he was definitely overpaid. He's going into unrestricted free agency. I can see a team signing him to a veterans minimum or very small contract, a playoff team that just needs him on the end of the bench, but he's not really going to be a factor going into next season. And you guys, there's so many players, man. There's so many players that we could continue to talk about. Again, I just wanted to speak on the top 15. We talked about a few honorable mentions right there, but I'm really curious to see how this salary cap affects all these moves. We'll start to see some of those moves. We will start to see those moves November 18th on the day of the NBA draft. Teams will begin making those moves at that particular time. GMs will have a better idea of where the salary cap might fall, but they will be able to start maneuvering and, which direction they want their franchise to head in. Should they vie for that? Should they make a trade to trade up into the draft? Should they trade down? There are a lot of teams in some really peculiar situations. I cannot wait till the draft starts so I can start seeing how this is going to unfold going into next season. There's just so many questions. There's so many questions with the Golden State Warriors. Questions with the Sacramento Kings and Buddy Hield. What's he going to do? Questions with the Lakers and Kyle Kuzma. What's Kuzma going to do? I mean, there's just questions everywhere with big-time players that could shift the balance of power in the NBA. And that's one of the reasons why I cannot wait till next season, because you're going to have the teams like the Warriors reloaded. You're going to have the Minnesota Timberwolves reloaded. The Philadelphia 76ers are going to have new energy with a new coach in Doc Rivers. I mean, there's so many teams out there that are going to be reinvigorated, either due to players coming back from injury or the ability to draft high, bringing in some of this new talent, or they can just make moves via trade. So there's a lot that can be changing next year. The NBA is going to be different. Hopefully it's not in another bubble setting. I would love to be able to, go to some of these different cities and get to some of these games. It's just different having to watch it from the TV all the time. We don't know. But today, it's been a great video. You guys let me know in the comments what you think about this particular video. Do you agree with some of these free agency moves? Is there somebody I didn't mention? All right, let's talk about it. Again, when we have our next live show, these are some of the things that we can touch on. So you guys don't be shy in the comments, especially on the live chat. I love it when you guys in the live chat ask questions. We can present that question to guys on the panel and we can just chop it up right there. Or you can hit the link, jump in, and you can chop it up with us. But again, we appreciate everybody who's been supporting the channel so far. We appreciate all the engagement. I love all the support through the live chats, all the donations, all of the super chats. Keep it up. Keep it going. I cannot wait to do this PlayStation 5 giveaway. And again, as I promised, Mr. Jones, I did promise you, if I dropped this video, that I would give you a nugget. I would give you a nugget to allow you to get entries. So, Mr. Jones, when you watch this video, and this is for everybody, and also we're going to make sure that Mr. Jones, he hopped into the chat today. He asked how he could get an entry into the PS5 giveaway. Well, this is how we get an entry. Because Mr. Jones has been a great supporter. He was in the live chat. He was in the live chat today. He was compelling people to hit the like button, smash the like button. I mean, a great supporter. So what we're going to do is we're going to automatically give Mr. Jones, just because he was a great supporter in the chat today, I'm automatically giving him 10 entries into the PS5 giveaway. Now, Mr. Jones, if you actually see this and you comment your own name in the video below, I'll double down on that. I'll give you another 10 entries if you have watched this video all the way through. For everybody else, if you see this video, if you hit Mr. Jones with a salute to Mr. Jones in the comments, you get 3 entries into the bowl. So again, if you're not Mr. Jones, just hit salute to gives Mr. Jones a salute for being a great supporter of the channel. Hit him up, give him a salute in the comments. 3 entries for the PS5 giveaway. And Mr. Jones, if you see it yourself, make sure you comment your own name for an additional 10 entries on top of the 10 entries that I'm giving you right now, just for being a great supporter of the channel. But again, I cannot say again how much I appreciate all the support so far. The live debates are going far, far better than I even had imagined or thought. And that's what we want with this channel right here. You guys aren't just viewers, man. You guys really support the channel. And I'm going to try to do these giveaways as much as possible to give back. And just like I told the guys in the live chat today, I'm working with this. I'm working with these sponsors. If we can give away 2 PS5s, hopefully I can get this accomplished over the next day or so. That's the goal, because I want to try to give back as much as possible. And I know those PS5s are going to be hot commodities when they do drop pretty soon here. FYF Sports, man, been another great video. Make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell to the video if you haven't done so already. But it's been another great podcast episode. FYF Sports.